Apparently, an AEW star is gone from the company. Plus, we're going to talk about WWE's interest in signing that star. And yes, we are going to discuss some more news as we get ready for All In. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Yango Show. Welcome back to the Yango Show. I want to kick things off with John Cena news. Ladies and gentlemen, John Cena has apparently re-signed with the WWE despite the fact that he will be retiring from in-ring career. He did an interview with Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay, and basically he said with all of his experience in WWE, it has led to a new contract. He says, I have such a trustworthy relationship with them. Over 2 decades, I am a champion of the brand. I love the company. It is my home. They are my family. And even after the 2025, I've already signed an extension to remain a member of the WWE family for the near, mid, and long-term future. I don't think there will be a beat of my heart where WWE blood doesn't come out of it. We all know that John Cena is doing his retirement tour, which is why this is so incredibly interesting. But the big thing that you guys need to understand is that this is not going to be one of those situations where a wrestler retires from the WWE and then goes on to AEW or something like that. And, you know, that has happened where guys like Ric Flair have left WWE and then they go to TNA, you know, after they retire, and then they retire and then come back. And, you know, we've seen this time and time again. John Cena being a WWE lifer is definitely not a shocker to me. And I think for John Cena, there is a benefit being tied to the WWE brand. I think John Cena will always be synonymous with the WWE brand. But most importantly, it's important for WWE to be connected to John Cena at all times, especially when you consider that John Cena, he's going and doing this Hollywood career. And look, maybe you like him as an actor, maybe you don't. But the reality is, he's got this Hollywood career going on. It seems to be somewhat successful, and because of that, WWE being connected to John Cena always just makes a little bit more sense. I don't think we'll ever see John Cena have another match after. I think when he's done, he's truly done. I think we should take his word that this retirement tour, 30, 40 dates, after that, it's done. And, you know, it sounds like John Cena is very committed to WWE for the next year, which is really good. I hope there's a lot of great stuff that comes from the run. Anything else after, man, I think it's going to lead to John Cena being in the Hall of Fame. I think it's going to lead to John Cena making some appearances from time to time. Maybe he'll bust out an attitude adjustment of some sort. But for the most part, I wouldn't expect John Cena at all to do anything else. I think it's always going to be connected, you know, events, press coverage. WWE has this partnership with Fanatics. I could see John Cena doing conventions and things like that, but nothing more. Very interesting, though. This seems to be a pretty damn big deal. Sting could be headed to AEW All In. I thought this was pretty cool news. I think mainly because of the fact that I'm just such a huge fan of Sting. There could be some stuff that is brewing here. Let's talk about it. Fightful Select reported Sting told numerous people close to him that he was slated to make the trip to London for All In. As of this writing, it's unclear whether or not he will appear on the show, but you never know, obviously, because, hey, Sting is always going to be connected to AEW. Just like how we were talking about John Cena in WWE, that seems to be where we're at with Sting and Tony Khan and their relationship. Now, Sting going to All In, whether he's just sitting in the crowd and watching, whether he's producing matches or being a big helping hand backstage, or maybe he's just there to actually have a segment of some kind. I don't know. But I like the idea of him showing up. And I understand that Sting is not going to be wrestling all the time. I understand that Sting is not going to be, you know, he's not going to be wrestling anymore. He had his send-off, right? But it doesn't mean you can't utilize him on television, especially when you look at what they got cooking with Darby Allin versus Jack Perry. Maybe Darby Allin wins the TNT Championship, and maybe Sting is there to celebrate with him. That is something that could be possible. And I think we should acknowledge that, right? Like, there is obviously that history of Sting being with Darby Allin, and it could make a lot of sense for him to join Darby Allin in celebration. You know, it kind of sucks. I'll tell you guys, it kind of sucks. Watching guys retire, it's not fun, because there's a lot of guys who have retired, and maybe they weren't a big deal at all. But then there's people that you watch growing up, and then eventually their time comes. And Sting was one of those guys where, like, we still never got that Sting and Undertaker match. Like, that is crazy to me, the fact that we've never gotten that. the fact that Sting, was able to have such a great run in AEW is also another thing that we would have never expected. Not that his WWE run was so bad. It was just, in comparison, I feel like AEW did things the right way with Sting. And that's why I like the fact that Sting has this loyalty to AEW. We can talk all day about AEW and whether we like it or not, but the one thing that has been very consistent since day one is their approach and how they handle legends. And I can't think of any examples of where they dropped the ball. So Sting is the ultimate example of how to book a legend. He never really did anything that hurt other talent. If anything, working with Sting was a benefit. So yeah, I mean, I'm really glad that he could be showing up at All In. I'm excited for All In. I think All In is going to be a great show. Having Sting there would be a nice surprise. And trust me, guys, I think there's going to be a lot of surprises for AEW All In. But what's got me even more surprised? Ricky Starks has apparently been a free agent since July. Now, this is absolutely crazy. How this is floating under the radar, I don't know. At this moment in time, this should be considered a rumor. There's been no 100% confirmation. Worked Wrestling put out a tweet of a Ricky Starks GIF. No context added to it at all whatsoever. That was just the tweet that went out. What was really interesting was that Ricky Starks was brought up on TNT with JD from New York and Salamonster. And Salamonster basically came out and suggested that he heard that there was some very strong rumors that he was told Ricky Starks became a free agent in July. Now there's so much more being said. Corey Brennan on Fightful Select came out and said, regarding the rumors on NXT sources say that there is a significant interest in bringing Starks into the brand once he is available. So nobody knows if he's actually gone from AEW. There's been no confirmation from any side, but these are very, very strong rumors, and the people that are talking about these rumors are people that are not going to put their reputation on the line. We all know that this kind of lines up with the timeline, too, that Ricky Starks was out celebrating with Jade and a whole bunch of others, and that was posted on social media earlier this week. So here's the thing, right? The way that I'm looking at this is Ricky Starks cooled off a lot. AEW didn't want him on TV. They were probably hoping that it would, maybe hurt his chances of switching over to the other side. I think it's always been obvious that Ricky Starks was not meant for AEW. It was very obvious that AEW dropped the ball. It's also very clear that WWE is very interested in Ricky Starks, and it makes a lot of sense for them to be interested in Ricky Starks. I also like the idea of him going to NXT right now because they got something cooking. Ethan Page is champion. I expect Ethan Page to retain the belt at No Mercy. Ricky Starks closes the show after the copyright symbol. That would be huge. You got the CW Network NXT. Ricky Starks is going to frickin' do so well there. What an interesting time, man. How this is sliding under the radar, how it's not being talked about enough, I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, that is The Angle Show.